Welcome back, guys, to this week's of Galactic Review. This week we are doing the new movie, new, uh, as of January 2021, um, the Marksman with Liam Neeson. Yeah, so as a brief synopsis of the movie, Liam Neeson's character, which is Jim, I believe his name was.
Yes.
Yeah,
He is an ex-marine. He lives in New Mexico. No, Texas or New Mexico.
Arizona.
It was
It was Arizona.
yeah, it was
All right,
Arizona because he went.
He lives on the Arizona-Mexican border.
Mhm.
gotcha. Arizona Mexican border. He had a ranch that kind of bordered the fence. So his thing was that every once in a while he'd see some IAs or illegal aliens. Um, that's how they referred to them in the movie. And he would call up the border patrol and he'd be like, "Hey, I've got these people." Um, you find out that this mother and son are now on the run from the cartel because the mother's brother, the son's uncle, um, pissed off the cartel, did something. And so now they got to run. And so the mother and the son get through the fence. The mother dies in a shootout because the cartel follows, and Jim is not willing to give her up, and then or give them up. And mother gets shot, dies, and is like, "Take care of my son, take him to my family, Chicago." And that's basically where the IMBD synopsis will end. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, the rest of the movie is this journey of Liam Neeson taking this kid to Chicago on the run from the Mexican cartel. So it's basically the exact opposite of Taken. This time he was the one taking. Um, that's a brief synopsis. That's what the movie was about.
And with that said, I will say there was one quote in this movie from in reference to Taken, and I didn't like it.
What was it? I didn't catch it.
When his daughter, or no, stepdaughter,
Yeah.
yeah, stepdaughter, called and said they will find you, and when they do, they will kill you. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah. All
I
right.
didn't even notice that.
Oh, I noticed it.
But
So I'll start it off real quick. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
4 out of
Okay.
10.
4 out of 10.
Can well, we'll go into why later. All right. Payson?
I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Um, Very average movie. There was a couple scenes that I liked, but and the plot I thought was decent and well thought out. It was just very bland, and I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
it's really slow.
yeah.
I
So
was expecting more from a Liam Neeson movie, I'll be
that's
honest.
me. Yeah. So,
Um,
but for me, 5 out of 10.
I I don't know. I kind of enjoyed this movie. I was gonna give it
I, I
uh
I did enjoy this movie a little bit until Andrew said it seems very bland. It's like, yeah,
oh no,
I
it
can only
seemed
remember a
bland.
few of the
It seemed bland.
scenes. Yeah,
Mostly what I enjoyed was the story of it
yeah, the
and
story was great. I
everything.
thought the story was
That
great. It's
and
just,
yeah, that's why I was gonna give it like a 6. Like the story was great. It was really slow. It it had some great scenes, but it was just a really slow story and build up to it.
I guess for me, my low rating, like this one was, again, like Wonder Woman, painfully average. It was very bland, very dry. For me, the story was a nice premise. I guess maybe it was because I was expecting more of an action movie,
Yeah.
especially with Liam Neeson in it. And maybe the way I read this the synopsis before I saw it, because I don't
Well, that
watch
and the
movies.
trailers made it look like an action movie.
There wasn't really any action. There was like one or two, maybe three shootouts.
Yeah.
Even then, that's not the most action packed. Um, Maybe I just had a higher expectation off of knowing what other movies Liam Neeson has been in, like
Yeah.
Taken. I was all hyped up and I'm like, it's gonna be great. And then it was the story was good. It did have a good
Yes.
story, but maybe my expectations were too high on the action side of it, and I was a little too disappointed because of the low action.
Yeah.
Now we're probably gonna get into spoiler territory. Um,
yeah. So spoiler alert. For Marksman, the rest of the way, take it away, Andrew.
Yeah, the dog, they killed the dog, and that was a big downer for me.
Yeah, but I'll be perfectly honest. I expected it
Oh, of
because
course.
if it didn't happen, he would have just stopped transporting that kid.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't like they barely made it a big deal. Like normally you'd see the scene where the dog dies and the guy would be no and he just kind of stood behind it. Understandably, if he made a
Yeah,
noise, they would have saw him, whatever, and so he had to be quiet. And he was like, "Damn."
yeah. And
But normally when a
he didn't
dog
even go
dies,
out. Usually, yeah, the dog dies and they want revenge. It's like
yeah,
John Wick.
yeah.
And but no, he was like he didn't even want revenge really.
hmm However, I
He,
did like the scene where they burned the money. That was a nice, very
That
yeah, I thought
was.
that was so savage the way they were just like,
that was
I
like
don't
a
want it.
screw
You don't
you.
want it. All right, let's just
I
just
mean, it
get rid
makes
of it.
sense.
I mean, yeah, it did, but it was just it felt like
It was pretty much
that was a very savage moment where they were just like,
yeah, but the way the kid put it, it was pretty much just blood money, and
yeah,
Um,
he didn't want anything to do with it.
and I think the main biggest plot hole I had that I really did not agree with is how did they know they were at that motel? Because he didn't use credit card.
No, I know. I'm trying to
yeah,
think.
I get that.
All of the other times they tracked him down, they had reasons. Like
Yeah,
with the
Yeah.
police being called or the credit card being swiped, with the map they found circled. Like, but that was the only one that was like they just showed up out of nowhere.
yeah,
I'm trying to think what happened before because he even hit the truck and everything.
hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe they were just going around to motels in the area. I don't
And
know.
killing the owners.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them. I think they were mainly just looking for
That's one of the
evidence.
biggest, like, the saddest things for me. They went and killed all the people, and he never knew it. All the people he met pretty much died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and you never knew.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't like how the stepdaughter was a throwaway character.
I wanted
yeah,
more
that
from her,
was
honestly.
That was
I
weird.
expected a bit more.
yeah,
She was there in my head for two purposes. One, to reveal his backstory and why he's this depressed, sad old man living by himself with a rifle. Um, and two, to kind of be like, to either to egg him on or to add that small little extra layer of like suspense where like, now you're doing something illegal. You need to stop. He's like,
Especially,
no.
especially, I expected something at the end of the movie, after he finished and everything, that
Mhm.
she would just appear in Chicago and like do something.
yeah,
See, I was watching with a friend and they thought that the cartel was going to go after her and she
yeah.
was this like damsel character that he now needed to save, but that didn't happen.
I mean, I guess that could have made sense, but
That would have worked if she
you
was
also,
like government
Mhm.
as well.
yeah,
Like maybe that would have worked.
If she wasn't police, yeah, border patrol.
Yeah,
yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, I don't know. Um,
it had a good story. If I went into it more like Peanut Butter Falcon, where I was ready for just a good, nice story, then I probably been like, yeah, good story.
mhm.
But
It had a pretty good ending to it as well.
I thought it was great how the kid just ignored him for the first couple of days and then came
Oh
out with
yeah.
perfect English.
yeah.
Oh, so you can speak.
Hear
Um,
that, Jackson?
I like how the kid walked the dog and then like just run. That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how they took him to a church, have him pray for his
Even though
mom.
the guy seems to not even care about religion, or I think he has more of a prejudice. I wouldn't say a prejudice against it. He just seems to have like something against it because he was like, "Get that out of your head real quick."
Well,
It's
Towards the kid.
it's because he lost his wife, the
yeah,
only thing he really cared for in life. And he said that multiple times.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it was more of like just disgust,
yeah.
I
Well,
guess.
I'm talking about like against religion in the aspect because he was at first very bland against the kid, like thinking about heaven and stuff when the dog had died.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something I caught, and I could be completely off base. but you could see that he kind of changed his mind when he knew the kid was going through stuff and he had been through something like that before. So in order to help him get some closure, he went and took him to a church, which probably wasn't a place he wanted to go.
Yeah.
So
It was. I like their relationship. I like how it was slowly built. There was one moment where I think they were. It was he was teaching the kid how to shoot the gun. And I looked at the time thing. Oh my god, this movie has 20 minutes left.
Yeah.
And I didn't think they were going to be able to resolve everything in 20 minutes. They managed to do it without feeling extremely rushed.
Yes.
yeah,
Which was good. What?
I know that was the only thing for me. I got an hour into the movie and I realized it was almost over. And I was like,
Yeah,
it
it
didn't
was.
feel like it went through anything.
I'd probably bump my review back up to a 5. I was probably just bitter. I'd probably bump it up to a 5.
Okay.
But now reminiscing on the story, I did enjoy the story.
I think the best scene that I remember that I thought was one of my favorites is when like Liam Neeson's character shoots the guy in the as they're driving by, turns his truck around, shoots the guy in the head, kills him, and then hits the tire so the truck flips.
Okay, I had some beef with that scene. Like, I totally get it if like you're a ex-marine, even having that good of a shot. I get that, being able to hit the guy driving, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I do not know where you can shoot a car that would make it fly into the air like
No,
that.
I think it
Okay,
was.
no, it
I
was
think it hit the
because
tire, right?
it was mostly because they were swerving, and
He was trying to grab
I
the
had to
wheel,
think
and then
about
he
it
hit
a
and he
lot.
hit the tire, and so that loss of traction and them swerving made it flip
Hmm.
over. That's what I thought it
Yeah.
was. I
That's
could be
pretty
wrong.
much what it is. No, that's pretty much what it is. It's the sudden impact of the bullet hitting the tire and it exploding.
And
And
then
as they were swerving, it
yeah,
just gave it a bit more lift to the whole car and brought the whole thing into
Okay.
a flip.
Okay, I'll believe you, engineers. I'll believe you.
Zach, are you
Um,
an engineer?
No.
the final fight scene. The dude got shot and then shanked and then won.
Oh, okay. The dude's a Marine, first
To,
off.
to,
But
to be
he's
fair,
old.
to be fair, he was also bleeding out on the bus.
Oh no, the
No,
dude
yo, he
probably
died on the bus.
died.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was like
he 100%
what
died on the bus. That was the ending.
that was that was that was a little bit of a disappointing
That
ending.
that
It
ending was
was
disappointing.
it was
If that's the
disappointing, but
case,
it kind
I
of
thought I
felt
didn't think he
he
died.
fulfilled his mission and now he can go
Just
because his whole thing was his wife's guiding him and now he's fulfilled it. He had this last big thing to fulfill his life and now he's dead.
His
So
wife's guiding him to his death.
it's not a terrible ending. I see what they were going for.
Yeah, it could have been
Um
better implemented, though.
okay, it was better than Logan. That's all I'm gonna say. I think my favorite part was the end fight, the last fight, where the dude's like,
He's
"Yeah,
just
I
sniping
never."
off people one by
No,
one.
no, no, no. Where the cartel dude, he's like, "I never had a choice. I'm not gonna give this kid a choice. He has to kill." And when
yeah,
when Jim shoots him in the gut, and then he puts the gun down, he's like, "Now you have a choice." Turns around and walks off.
I thought that was
I'm like,
so brutal,
It was, but
but it
that was
made
pretty
so much
much
sense.
that.
I had some
Yeah.
small little like annoyances. Well, not little annoyances, like little funny like nitpicked things that I did during that scene. I don't know why Jim didn't like picking him off. I don't know why he didn't go after the guy that was clearly the most trained and in the best shape,
Suspense.
which is
Suspense.
weird. Instead, he went over the dude that was like hobbling on one leg and was obviously the youngest and least experienced.
Okay, let's be perfectly honest. Those guys were running around even after they went in that tumble. And I'm like, they wouldn't be able to do that.
However, that one
Yeah,
point where he was like shoot in the air and to like use as like a decoy, and then the guy just that was a great one.
Yeah,
yeah,
that one was good.
that was very well implemented.
Second, the kid 100% had a shot on that bald dude
He could have, and I
from
don't
up
know
in the
why he
rafters.
didn't,
There were so many
because he
opportunities.
seemed like he wanted to during the fight, but I don't know why
I
he
mean,
didn't do it
he
in the
could have
barn
shot,
when he
he
could
could
have
have
easily
shot,
done it.
yeah, he could have shot the leader of that group while they were in the car instead of hitting the driver. They would have still freaked out and probably swerved.
So my
I
big
don't know.
with the end fight was I don't agree that it would have ended the way it ended. It should have, like, giving him the bullet and saying you have a choice. If this person has been so thoroughly brainwashed and ingrained and trained and finish your mission, he probably has been in other tight spaces before.
Yeah.
Therefore, putting myself in his shoes and being like, no, I'm a soldier, I have a mission, I've been trained, I would have still taken that one bullet and got the guy.
Yeah. That's what I was, because I'm like, I saw this coming when he pretty much from the very beginning of that fight. And that was the thing. He could have just lunged at the gun after he turned his back, picked it up and just offed Jim instantly.
Yeah.
And both of them would have fulfilled their missions. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. He would have fulfilled his mission with revenge.
Yeah.
I did like, though, how they kind of revealed that he wasn't killing the boy. He was gonna turn him into like a kid soldier like him. Which probably would have been worse than just killing him outright.
Yeah.
So I did kind of like that small little realization.
Yeah. Second, if Jim was such a great shot, he 100% could have ended that whole that final scene when you could see a little part of the bald dude's head behind Miguel.
I would
And
have
if he
taken
was trained and if he was that good, he would have 100% would like done a flesh wound, just shot Miguel slightly in the arm, hit the guy and killed him.
Yeah.
even
But
shot through Miguel.
Exactly.
but I don't think he wanted to hurt the kid. I think that was
No,
the
I
one thing
know.
he did not want to do.
He could have just like the kid could have put up his arms, could have done anything. But
But I like how the kid was smart enough to let go of the mag so he had no more ammo and only had
well,
one shot.
yeah, he only had one shot.
That was cool. That was pretty dope.
That one was good.
Yeah. So I guess overall, I'm gonna say, if you want an action movie, watch Taken. If you want a
Yes.
genuinely good story about, like, a good, like, I guess, suspenseful story, but more that's like a journey with a suspense, constantly like over the shoulder. This one's a good movie.
Mhm.
It's slow and then it wraps up real fast. But it's not a bad watch. I guess my higher expectations, lower reward.
Like, yeah, it's a very average movie, but it's something that if it's on and you don't really care to watch anything else, or it's all like horrible stuff to watch, then
Like
this
Wonder
is
Woman.
probably a decent movie to watch on a day where you just don't feel like doing anything. So
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not a horrible movie, but it's not a great movie. Like, it's not
It's
like
a movie you
really
can
good.
sit through and you can actually somewhat enjoy instead of sitting through Wonder Woman and just hating yourself. So,
Yeah.
but with that said, I don't think there was any Kronk in this movie at all,
The
unless you want to
dog.
count the dog.
The dog was the Kronk.
That's the only, and that's it. There was no
Yeah.
comedic relief. I mean, they didn't need any in this movie, really.
No, they really didn't.
There were some
'Cause
comedic moments, but there was no one specific character.
yeah,
Yeah. It was a Kronkless movie. Maybe that's why it was a 4.
Honestly, the plot, the story, the message, and all of that was really good.
Yeah.
But it was just a really slow movie. And they had characters in there that would just kind of filler characters just to explain the story a little bit. They weren't really
yeah.
necessary.
Well, I guess the girl, his stepdaughter, being in charge of the border patrol, would have been necessary or it would have been necessary due to him taking the kid, them knowing he took the kid, and them not going after him as quickly as they probably should have.
Well, they
So
went to go raid his house. Well, not raid his house, but look at his house to see if the kid was there, and it was on fire. So they
I
thought
think it had burned to the ground.
yeah, it did. So
So
they thought he was killed, and they set the house on fire. But when he called her, she always asked, "Where are you?" He never gave an answer,
that's true.
except for one time, and he said he was in the Panhandle of Texas,
Yeah,
and I think that was it. And then at the end, he said he was going to Chicago. And I like how they found out where in Chicago they were going. Because all it said was Chicago,
yeah.
not where in
Well,
Chicago.
maybe once they get
Wait,
to more
wait,
of a
what are you
local
talking about?
place.
The kids or the cartel? The sorry, Jim or the cartel?
Well, Jim knew where to go in Chicago, but the cartel only knew that it was in Chicago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they
yeah,
were
but
watching the roads that led into Chicago from that direction.
yeah,
Okay.
they called up people to watch the hot interstate that was going into Chicago. So
Mm,
then
oh, yeah, that makes
then they
sense. Okay.
found out which exit they were getting off of, and then they just took it that way.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Uh, I do recommend you watch this movie because the plot, the story was really great. Just stick with it and it will get better. It's just really, really slow for a Liam Neeson film.
Yeah,
Um, but other than that, it was a good movie. Um, as far as what we're watching next, we'll be watching Ace Venture's Pet Detective. Honestly, a absolutely hilarious movie that I think both of you will enjoy.
It's
I
fun.
think you've seen it, Andrew.
I have.
Okay, so it'll be a new experience for Payson. So join us next week. Don't forget to
hit that like and subscribe button, Zach. You had one job.
it was mostly just Andrew. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened. All I heard was like a small scream.
I was cleaning the one and only knife I have. I don't even know where the other part went.
Did it break in half?
Smash the like and subscribe button. Otherwise, I can't afford a new knife to make my PB&J sandwiches. I'll starve if you don't hit that like and subscribe button.
And please leave a comment below telling us if um he should get a better knife than a plastic one. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.